In this video, I'm going to show you 4 draw strength building drills that a traditional archer can use to get stronger and to build stamina. The 3 types of archers, or the 3 situations that these drills will be most beneficial for, is number 1, the archer who wants to increase their draw weight. So they're at a current draw weight. Let's say that draw weight is 30 pounds and they want to build up to 35 pounds. The second archer that will benefit from these drills is the archer that doesn't necessarily want to increase draw weight, but just wants to feel more capable and more able with their draw weight. The third archer that will benefit from these drills is the individual who wants to build stamina, meaning they already feel capable with their draw weight, they feel plenty strong with it, but they want to have more endurance for those higher arrow counts and be able to shoot more without fatigue. Now, diving into the 4 draw strength building drills. The first drill is going to be a tempo draw. And in this draw, you're going to be drawing at a slower pace than you normally do. Performing that movement extra slow has great benefits for strength building in the nervous system and the muscular system. It also allows you to develop control as you smoothly move through that movement, and ultimately time under tension there is a great strength builder. So what you're going to do is set up congruent to your style of archery, your shot, how you shoot, so that everything is the same and transfers well to when you do actually go to draw and shoot. You even want everything down to your tab and your grip to be the same. And what you're going to do in this tempo draw is you're going to perform your draw as you normally would, but you're moving at a slower pace. You're moving extra slow as you draw all the way back. And even for an added benefit, we want to slowly return back in. That eccentric, or the return back in, is a great way to build strength that we don't normally get because we're always drawing, releasing, and we never have that return. You can play with that variable of the tempo. You can go slightly slower than you normally do when you draw. You can go extra slow and really spend some time under tension. There's a lot of freedom there with that variable of slowing things down to allow yourself to build strength. The next draw that we are going to get into is the halting draw. And for this drill, you are going to pause every few inches of your draw. What this allows you to do is also spend time under tension, but there's a little bit of a different stimulus here than what we normally get. We have to stop that draw, hold it for a second, start it again, stop it, start it again, stop it. And in those different starting, stopping points throughout the draw, that is a great time for the nervous system and musculature system to build strength. So what that is going to look like is setting up in your starting position and then draw a few inches and stop, draw a few inches and stop, draw a few inches and stop, draw, stop, all the way until you get to the anchor point. And then, like we said, another great benefit is returning, and you're going to stop and pause every few inches there as well. Just like the tempo draw, how you can vary and change the tempo, you can also change your halts, meaning that you can vary how long you stop and hold for. You can vary how often you stop, meaning you can go a few inches and stop. You can go 1 inch at a time. There's a lot of different variables that you can play with there to get a different strength building stimulus. The third drill that we're going to use is what I call a 1.5 draw. And what I mean by that is you're going to have a full draw, then a half. And this is a great way to build strength at that back end of the draw and allows a little bit of a different stimulus than just holding, which we said, again, holding is a great way to build draw strength. This also is beneficial because a lot of archers, myself included, when we get to full draw, we will tend to want to close up and let off of our tension and not expand. So this reinforces the idea of making sure that we expand, making sure that we drive into those last couple inches of the draw. So what you're going to see here is a normal draw, normal speed. And you're going to draw as you would all the way out. Then you're going to return a halfway in or even a quarter, draw back out, and then you can return. That's 1 rep, so 1.5 draws. 1 full draw, halfway in, draw back out, get anchored, and then return. Now, you want to make sure with all of these drills, this one included, that you're reinforcing good movement, good technique, and good form. Like we said, you want to stay congruent to your draw with anchor points, etc. This one here has most of its tension and most of its work at that back end of the draw. So there's a lot of value there in building strength when you're working against the full poundage of your bow. The fourth and final draw is a band added draw. And this is for the archer that either cannot tighten their limbs down anymore to get a little bit more poundage, or do not have heavier weight limbs, but they want to build draw strength, or they just want to make their current draw weight feel easier for them. If you have heavier limbs, then you really don't need this drill. But if you're somebody who, again, wants to make your draw weight feel easier, this is a great way to do it. So what you're going to do is exactly as the name implies, is you're going to add a band. Start very light. So I have just a TheraBand here. They tend to work well, where you're going to pin that on your grip. And make sure you still set your grip how you normally would have it. Make sure that that band's pinned so that it doesn't come back and hit you in the face. Then you're going to pin the band on your string so again that it can't move. There will be some trial and error here to see how much added resistance you want from the band. You might have to use a longer band, shorter band, more tension, less tension, and that's something that you figure out after a couple of reps. Once you have just a little bit of added resistance, then you're going to perform your draw as you normally would with that heavier draw weight. And you can do holds in full draw, you can do repetitions of drawing, but that band just adds a little bit of extra resistance, a little bit of extra challenge that's above and beyond what you would normally feel. And sometimes this principle is referred to as overshooting, meaning that if you normally shoot 30 pounds, but you work with something like this that requires you to shoot 32, 34, 35 pounds, then all of a sudden when you go back to your 30-pound bow, it feels easier. So we overshoot or we overreach, as you'll sometimes hear it called, so that when you go back to your normal or your standard, it is a little bit easier for you. I want to mention two disclaimers. The first one is that these drills work best for a traditional archer shooting recurve, Olympic recurve, longbow. These drills either do not work at all for a compound bow, they're not safe or effective with a compound bow, and even if you could kind of make them work, building draw strength for a compound bow is a totally different process I use with different tools, different protocols, so only use these if you are a traditional archer. The second disclaimer that I want to toss out there is before you do any type of drill like this, without a doubt, the best way to build draw strength is simply to shoot consistently, to shoot well, and to shoot enough arrows. Do those three things first before you get into these drills. If you can say, yes, I can check off those three boxes, I do all three of those things well, then you're going to benefit from these drills and enjoy them as well. If you found this video valuable, it's helpful if you hit the like button. You can also subscribe if you want to see more archery strength training, rehab, and technique videos. Lastly, if you want to dive deeper into training, archerystrong.com has all of our training systems, and there's a way that you can connect with me as well. Thank you for your support.